Well, welcome back to Monday Night Raw, and folks, what a night it's been already here on the Red Brand, just 24 hours removed from the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. The dust may still be settling in Philadelphia, but here at Raw, we're still in full swing with the Intercontinental Championship Tournament shaping up. Let's quickly recap the action so far tonight. In your opening contest, we saw Logan Paul defeat Otis of the Alpha Academy. We then got into our Intercontinental Tournament qualifying rounds. We saw Jimmy Uso advance past Eric of the War Raiders in a brutal, hard-hitting encounter. And Tommaso Ciampa managed to outlast Angel of Legado del Fantasma with that signature Sicilian stretch as part of the match. And just before the break, Montez Ford put on a highlight reel as he soared literally and figuratively over Cruz del Toro of the LWO to punch his ticket to the quarterfinals. And of course, remember, Dirty Dominic Mysterio already earned his spot in the Intercontinental Championship Tournament quarterfinals after defeating Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania to qualify for that round. And going back to our opener, Logan Paul got that win over Otis. But what's really got the internet buzzing is Uncle Howdy appearing for the first time in months, storming the ring and simply staring down Logan Paul. No attack, no violence, just a cold, calculating stare. What does it mean? Your guess is as good as mine. But still ahead tonight in our main event, after our Intercontinental Championship Tournament qualifying matches, we've got Randy Orton, your WWE World Champion, going one-on-one with Imperium's Ludwig Kaiser in a non-title bout. Right now, it is time for match number 5 of the night and match number 4 in this tournament for the qualifiers. Let's get to it. You've already seen both men get down to the ring. Of course, the first man is one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day, Xavier Woods front and center. He was flanked by Kofi Kingston, and I don't care what kind of smile they've got on their faces. The fans here are not feeling the positivity tonight. Ever since they stabbed Big E in the back, a man who bled for the New Day for nearly a decade, Woods and Kingston have been on an unapologetic tear. And at WrestleMania, they silenced every critic and every doubter when they beat the Street Profits for the Tag Team Championships. Clean, no shortcuts, no flukes. And here's Xavier Woods tonight, looking to do what he's been very vocal about lately, win singles gold. He's been in WWE for over a decade and never once won a singles championship aside from that King of the Ring crown that he won. Not a United States title, not an Intercontinental Championship, nothing so far. He said that this tournament is his destiny and that his Intercontinental coronation is long overdue. And let's not forget Woods, as we mentioned just a bit ago, is a former King of the Ring. He's one of the most underrated technicians in the game. But ever since this darker New Day emerged, there's been a real mean streak, a chip on the shoulder that wasn't there before. They used to clap for the people, now they scoff at them. And then you've got Kofi at the side of the ring here tonight, WWE Grand Slam champion, clapping along. Here's Xavier Woods going for a pinfall attempt, but no, that's a kick out from Penta. The irony is thick tonight as the New Day almost scoff at the crowd, taunting them with every move they have. And of course, Xavier Woods' opponent here tonight, Penta. You want intensity, you want fire. This man is a walking, talking war zone. Now, Penta didn't have the ideal WrestleMania this year. He was part of that chaotic 8-man battle royal where Karrion Kross came out on top and claimed the United States Championship. But Penta did show out in that match. A great performance by Penta, jaw-dropping offense, and honestly, he might have been one of the MVPs of that match before being eliminated. Still, if you're looking for someone to derail Xavier Woods' plan tonight, this might be your guy. Penta's no stranger to titles himself, former tag champion, trios champion, Lucha Underground icon. This man's broken arms, broken tables, broken expectations. He's fought on every continent, in every style, and tonight he steps into this ring with something to prove that he belongs at the top of the WWE singles division. Of course, always wearing that mask, the history, the culture, the mystique. This is Lucha Libre royalty, and tonight he's looking to not only defeat Xavier Woods in the New Day, he's looking to just absolutely disrespect them the way they disrespected Big E, their legacy, and their fans. Cero miedo, he says, zero fear, and that's what Woods is up against. Now here's what's fascinating about this match. You've got two men on wildly different journeys, and yet both of them feel like they've been chasing the same thing their whole careers: validation. Xavier Woods, he was always the third wheel in the New Day, wasn't he? The mouthpiece, the manager, the moral support. Kofi had his moment. Big E had his run. But Woods, he was always left holding the trombone. And look at this pin attempt from Woods. No, Penta is able to kick out. But now take a look at Woods. No more smiles, no more pancakes, just this razor-sharp intensity that we never saw in those first 8 years. And ever since that betrayal of Big E, something has clicked. Some people say it was cold, calculated, cruel. Oh, look at this. Xavier Woods going over the top rope and connecting with Penta. Huge move there by Xavier Woods, but Penta pops right back up. And just like that, Penta's back in control. If you ask Xavier Woods about that double cross on Big E, it was necessary. And then, of course, there's Penta. The man's a damn legend across the globe. AEW fans remember those Death Triangle Wars, the battles with the Bucks, with FTR. But here in WWE, he's still trying to break through, still trying to cement a legacy on this soil. There's a pin attempt from Penta. Can he get it? No. Xavier Woods kicks out almost immediately. What's beautiful about Penta is that he doesn't care about being liked, never has. This man came up in Mexico's blood-soaked arenas, carving his path with sacrifice and broken bones. He didn't get spoon-fed. He didn't have a multi-million-dollar marketing machine behind him. And maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's why this company has been slow to give him his due. But tonight's a statement night. After that huge reset this past weekend by The Rock and the TKO board of directors, you beat a current champion, a tag champ no less, and you advance in this tournament. That's definitely headline worthy. Let's talk about WrestleMania again. That tag match, Woods and Kofi defeating Montez and Dawkins, and doing it with such arrogance. It felt like a curtain call on the old New Day. That post-match celebration, that wasn't joy, that was mockery. They were celebrating as though they were the old New Day when the crowd was raining down boos on them. It seemed like they were just taunting the crowd, just to rub salt in the wound. Of course, the crowd, the entire WWE universe absolutely loves Big E, and for Xavier and Kofi to turn their backs on him like that, that's almost unforgivable. And now they are doing their best to do it again tonight. Kofi is pacing ringside like he owns the place, while Woods is inside trying to do what Big E never could, win that Intercontinental Championship. Meanwhile, Penta, he's still aching from that battle royal. 8 men, absolute chaos. And while Karrion Kross might have taken home the United States title, it was Penta who walked out with an incredibly loud ovation. The crowd is somewhat split, by the way. I'd say about 35% of them want to see the New Day win. The rest want to see Woods crash and burn. And a lot of people here just want to see Penta break his arm. Bloodthirsty and savage crowd sometimes here in the WWE. It's funny how things change. A year ago, you'd be hearing New Day rocks chants. Now you've got fans begging for Penta to snap that positivity in half. This match continues here. Match number 5. Oh, here's a pin attempt from Penta. Could this be it? There's a 2 count, and no, Xavier Woods able to kick out. This match will continue. We're going to allow you to watch the rest of the match commentary free. We will chime back in once we approach the end of this match. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. And Xavier Woods picking up Penta, and a huge right hand there from Xavier Woods. As we return to you, it looks as though this match might be wrapping up. Xavier Woods delivering blows to Penta, and an incredible move there from behind. 2 and 3. Xavier Woods gets it done. It is over. Xavier Woods advances to the quarterfinals of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. In the blink of an eye, a desperation move, or a masterstroke, depending on how you look at it, Woods steals this one from Penta, catching him off balance and securing a 3 count. That is all she wrote. What a grueling, absolutely punishing match between two of the most underrated talents in this business. And Xavier Woods walks out of it with a win. As we mentioned, he advances to the quarterfinals of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament, and folks, he is now one step closer to finally wearing singles gold in WWE. As you see the highlights of this match, Penta had all sorts of incredible moves, just as he did in that 8-man Battle Royal, the United States Championship at WrestleMania, but he still walks out with the short stick here tonight. Xavier Woods of the New Day, hoping to be a 2-belt Xavier, as he currently is the WWE Tag Team Champion with his tag team partner Kofi Kingston. And now he's looking to add Intercontinental Gold to go with it. There was the finishing move as Xavier Woods gets a very impressive victory here on Raw. Oh, and look at this. Would you believe it? The New Day, Woods and Kofi are doing their old celebration once again. Clapping, spinning, dancing around Penta. like it's 2016 all over again. But the crowd isn't cheering or chanting. They are booing loud and relentless. And that's exactly what the New Day wants. They're not bringing back their fun. They're bringing back just a whole lot of bitterness. Now we move on to our next match of the night. Wow, what a battle we just witnessed between Xavier Woods and Penta. Two warriors with very different paths, different philosophies. But in the end, it was the tag champ who came out on top. Woods catching Penta from behind, rolling him up for the 3 count. And now he joins Montez Ford, Tommaso Ciampa, Jimmy Uso, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio in the quarterfinals of this Intercontinental Championship tournament. And let's not forget what's waiting for the winner of this whole thing, a shot at Jey Uso, the reigning Intercontinental Champion, at our next Premium Live event. But folks, we are not done yet, not by a long shot. This next one might be the most volatile matchup of the night. And there they are, the storm front of WWE, the new faces of fear, the new bloodline. Tama Tonga leading the charge tonight, but look behind him, you've got Tonga Loa, you've got Solo Sikoa, and you've got Jacob Fatu. These 4 men have rewritten the playbook on what it means to dominate. They've got the ruthlessness of a biker gang, the loyalty of a war clan, and the precision of a hit squad. But let's call it like it is. This is not your cousin Roman's bloodline. This is Solo Sikoa's army, and Tama Tonga has become one of his trusted enforcers. Now, we saw Solo Sikoa come up short at WrestleMania, falling to Bronson Reed in a match to qualify for the World Championship Tournament quarterfinals. But let me tell you, that loss, it has definitely been eating at Solo Sikoa. You can feel the pressure building behind those eyes. And there are rumors, persistent ones, about growing tension between him and Jacob Fatu. Too many generals, not enough soldiers. You do the math. Tonight, though, all eyes are on Tama Tonga, a man who brings decades of pedigree, a terrifying temper, and the confidence of a man who's been in wars all over the globe. From Japan to Mexico to now here in WWE, this man is a battle-tested machine. Tama steps into the ring tonight with a purpose to advance in this tournament and also to send a message to Jey Uso, the man who, in his eyes, abandoned this family. Oh, here we go, though. His opponent, Aleister Black, the harbinger of shadows, the philosopher of pain. What a shock it was to see him walk out a few weeks ago. Now he has a manager. That's right. This figure walking behind him, that is Eric Olsen, a name many fans are just starting to learn, but a name that's already sending shockwaves through the locker room. Olsen is cerebral, cold, analytical, a former combat sports trainer turned strategist. Nobody knows quite how this relationship started. Nobody even knows if it's business or something darker. All we know is that Aleister Black has never aligned with anyone, not like this. Of course, we know that Eric Olsen has also signed Lyra Valkyria here on the main roster. And down in NXT has signed Alexis King and Sol Ruka. And maybe this new manager is exactly what Aleister Black needed. We saw Aleister enter that chaotic United States Championship Battle Royal at WrestleMania. And he was a menace. His strikes, his timing, you could feel the years of martial arts just radiating off of him. He didn't win. Karrion Kross took home the title at WrestleMania, but Black made sure everyone left with bruises. And now he's locked in on the Intercontinental title, a belt he's never touched, a belt that's defined legends. And he now has his opponent, Tama Tonga, And folks, I'll tell you right now, this ain't gonna be pretty. So here we go. The match has started. Aleister Black, Tama Tonga, quarterfinal spot on the line. No wasted movement from either man early on, and honestly, you wouldn't expect any. This match isn't going to just be physical, it's psychological, it's generational. Let's talk about the paths these two men took to get here. Tama Tonga, of course, son of Haku, trained in the wild, raised in the fire. He's wrestled in rings where chairs were currency and loyalty was a blood oath. From the underbelly of NJPW to the heights of the Never division, he's always been a bruiser, but he's also evolved. And when Solo Sikoa rebuilt the bloodline in his image, Tama was one of the first to pledge allegiance. Look at that. Looks like Solo Sikoa just pulled the referee right out of the ring. I believe it was Solo and not Jacob Fatu. It might have been Fatu. But Aleister Black was going for a pin attempt, and one of the members of the Bloodline just pulled the referee out of the ring. The new Bloodline stops at nothing to try to get their man to get a victory. And, of course, there's a sledgehammer in the ring to prove it. The referee still hasn't seen it. He's still going back and forth with Jacob Fatu. Oh, I think he just kicked Jacob Fatu out of this match. It must have been Fatu who pulled the referee out of the ring. And it looks as though, yes, Jacob Fatu is heading to the locker room, being kicked out of this match. That's what happens when you get involved at ringside. Now back to Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga, of course, being one of the first members that Solo Sikoa recruited to this new bloodline, and that was because he saw something in Solo. That's why Tama Tonga accepted. Maybe something that reminded him of his own rage, his own warpath. But you've got to wonder, is Tama still loyal to Solo, or is he looking to lead this thing himself? There's been some rumors that there's tension. Oh, here's a pin attempt from Tama Tonga on Aleister Black. But a kick out at 2. There's been rumors that Jacob Fatu may want to lead the new bloodline, but don't discount Tama Tonga. He also would be clearly capable of leading this foursome should they all agree that that's what they wanted to do. I doubt that's going to happen. Solo Sikoa will never relinquish control willingly, but we'll see what happens. There's a hunger in Tama Tonga's eyes tonight that I haven't seen since the Bullet Club days. And then there's Aleister Black. This man is a paradox. He talks about inner peace, about silence, about balance, and then he kicks your face off. Years ago, he was seen as the future of this company, till a series of injuries and creative purgatory nearly buried his career. And yet, here he is reborn. Not in light, but in deeper darkness. Eric Olsen has been in his ear since he signed with Olsen. You can see him at ringside now, quiet and observant. He's not yelling instructions. He's watching, almost like he's studying his own creation. There's, of course, a mythic quality to Aleister Black. The tattoos, the rituals, the stoicism. What makes him dangerous is that everything he does is precise. And here's a pin attempt from Aleister Black. Could this be it? There's one. No. A quick kick out from Tama Tonga there. And nothing is wasted by Aleister Black. Every strike, every step, every breath, it's all part of a system. Now think about the stakes here. The winner of this match joins a tournament field that's already overflowing with stories and bloodlines. Dominic Mysterio, wrestling royalty. Oh, look at this. Aleister Black going outside the ring and connecting. Big move there from Black. And this match continues. Also in that Intercontinental quarterfinal tournament, Jimmy Uso. Some might say he was betrayed by his own brother or betrayed his own brother. Montez Ford on a solo mission for greatness while he continues to compete in the tag team division. Same for Xavier Woods. Add Aleister Black to that mix, and you've got chaos wrapped in silk. And Tama Tonga. And now the Bloodline's got another weapon marching towards Jey Uso, of course, of the original Bloodline. And that's the emotional core of this tournament, isn't it? The As here's a pin attempt from Aleister Black. Could this be it? 1, 2, and 3. Yes, Aleister Black has done it. You saw him miss with that first Black Mass when Tama ducked it, but he immediately went for another Black Mass right after and absolutely connected on the second attempt. Aleister Black advances to the quarterfinals. What a finish after missing with that devastating spinning heel kick. Aleister Black recentered, recalculated, and connected flush on the second try. Tama Tonga didn't see it coming. Nobody does. That's the brilliance of Aleister Black. You only get one mistake. Now Aleister joins Xavier Woods, Montez Ford, Jimmy Uso, Tommaso Ciampa, and Dominic Mysterio in the quarterfinals of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. 2 more matches to go, and the path to Jey Uso is getting narrower and darker. Let's talk about what this really means. For Eric Olson, this is vindication. He picked Aleister Black as his chosen one. So far, that bet is paying off. For Black himself, this is redemption, a chance to rewrite a career this time around. We'll see what happens, but now it's time to go to our next match. And we move on to our next match here on Monday Night Raw. And if you're just joining us, you've already missed an absolute collision between Aleister Black and Tama Tonga. Tama came in flanked by the full force of the New Bloodline, but in the end, Aleister Black stood alone, as he always does, except for his manager, Eric Olson, at ringside, and made it count. One missed Black Mass, followed up immediately by one that landed flush, and Tama was staring at the lights. Aleister Black advances to the quarterfinals of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament, joining Dominic Mysterio, Jimmy Uso, Montez Ford, Tommaso Ciampa, and Xavier Woods. Only 2 more tournament spots remain. One of them gets decided right now. And there he is, the self-proclaimed host of the future, the influencer of influence, and half of the tag team A-Town Down Under. That's racking up headlines faster than wins, Grayson Waller. And trailing right behind him, of course, entering the ring with him, the other half of the A-Town Down Under experience, Austin Theory. These two are annoying, arrogant, and absolutely allergic to humility, but they've found something special in this team. Call it chemistry, call it charisma, call it chaos. Whatever you call it, they've got the fans talking, even if they're booing during every second of it. Waller's instincts on the mic are matched only by how slippery he is in the ring. He's not here to make friends, he's here to go viral. And if that means disrespecting legends, ducking fights, or throwing his own partner under the bus, so be it. But tonight, the spotlight's squarely on him, not Theory, not the podcast, not the suits, just him and LA Knight. And if he can pull this off, he can get past a red-hot LA Knight and enter the quarterfinals. This arrogant run becomes something a lot more dangerous. But listen to the ovation for LA Knight. Every time he enters, it's like the roof's gonna fly off the arena. That man right there is one of the most beloved and loudest superstars in all of WWE. LA Knight. A voice like gravel, charisma like lightning, and momentum like a freight train. Knight, of course, didn't get his WrestleMania moment the way he wanted. He was in a wild 8-man United States title battle royal that ended with Karrion Kross standing tall. But make no mistake, Knight was a crowd favorite before that night, and since then, he's become a movement. He's battled his way through companies across the globe, from NWA to Impact to NXT. And now here on Raw, he's gunning for the one prize he's never held, singles gold on the main stage, not taking into account that last championship in the previous universe, of course. This is a revamped WWE universe, completely reset by The Rock and the TKO board of directors, so all past title reigns have been wiped clear. And tonight he gets Waller one-on-one, no ladders, no chaos, no distractions, just a fight. So here we go. LA Knight versus Grayson Waller. One man looking to solidify his rise, the other just trying to go viral one more time. The thing about Waller is this: for all his arrogance, there is talent behind it. This isn't a guy who's just talking to talk. He's a former boxer, a scrappy athlete with serious ring awareness, and pairing up with Austin Theory, that's only made him more dangerous. Theory's out here right now, by the way, pacing ringside like he's already won something, and maybe in his mind he has. Waller and Theory are young, fit, smug, and hated by everyone, but they feed off of that energy. Their tag run has picked up steam fast. They've already knocked off some mid-tier teams. There's chatter about them possibly targeting the New Day, the tag team champions here in this new WWE era. Imagine that chaos, the New Day and at their most bitter, and these two clowns crashing that party. There's a pin attempt from Waller. I can't imagine this is going to last very long, and LA kicks out almost immediately. But for Waller, this is different. This is singles validation. Now let's flip the coin, because LA Knight's story couldn't be more different. He didn't come up with Instagram filters and YouTube interviews. He came up grinding. Real arenas, real crowds, real rejection. He clawed his way through the independents, rebranded, reinvented, and now he's arrived in the biggest spotlight of his life, with the fans chanting his name every time he opens his mouth. That swagger, that bravado, it isn't manufactured, it's earned. And look, let's not forget his past. Knight's had rivalries with the likes of Bray Wyatt, Gunther, and more. He's been underestimated at every level, and yet he keeps proving the world wrong. That's why these fans love him, because they see themselves in him. And let's not downplay what's at stake here either. This isn't just a ticket to the next round. This is the last opportunity, the last chance for either of these men to claim a quarterfinal slot before our final qualifier in our next match. The tournament is already stacked. We've got Dominic Mysterio, Tommaso Ciampa, Xavier Woods, Montez Ford, Jimmy Uso, now Aleister Black. That's a murderer's row of challengers. You add LA Knight to that mix, that is absolute box office. But add Waller, and now the whole bracket changes. Because that man doesn't just win matches, he creates headlines. And with Theory backing him up, you know Grayson Waller's thinking long term. Title shot or not, he's here to make people hate him, but also watch him. Now, speaking of long-term plans, so here's a pin attempt from LA Knight. Could this be it? Referee going for the pin. There's one. No, a quick kick out there from Grayson Waller. Speaking of long-term plans, let's pivot real quick to some buzz backstage. We mentioned earlier tonight, now we're just 2 matches away from our main event, and that is going to be the WWE World Champion Randy Orton taking on Ludwig Kaiser in a non-title match. And let me tell you, the locker room is absolutely on edge, not just because the world champion Viper is here, but because of a bombshell dropped earlier by Kat Majuli. Word is going around that she says she signed a huge free agent. The deal is finalized, and that they will be debuting very soon. But who actually is it? Some say it's a former world champion. Some say it's a rising star from another country. Nobody knows for sure. But if Kat's putting her name on it, it is serious. Oh, there's a BFT from LA Knight. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. Referee going for the pin. There's 1, there is 2, and yes, it is over. LA Knight connects with that BFT, and he has punched his ticket to the quarterfinals of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. What a win for LA Knight. He came into this with all the momentum in the world, and tonight he backed up every single word. He didn't let Waller get into his head. He didn't fall for Theory's tricks. He stuck to the plan, and when the time came, boom, BFT, lights out, tournament berth secured. That makes 7. Just one spot left in the Intercontinental Championship Tournament quarterfinals. And LA Knight joins an elite list. Dominic Mysterio, Montez Ford, Jimmy Uso, Xavier Woods, Tommaso Ciampa, and Aleister Black. He's rolling into the quarters with a head full of steam. The fans are behind him. The momentum is real. And if I'm Jey Uso watching from the locker room, I'm starting to wonder who's walking out of this tournament with that title shot. Still ahead, our final qualifier, and then, of course, our main event. Stick around, folks. Our next match is coming up right away. All right, folks, we are ready for our next match, and we are just about locked in, just about to finalize the last spot in the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. Of course, LA Knight just became the 7th man to enter the quarterfinals of that Intercontinental Championship Tournament after a hard-fought win over Grayson Waller. The crowd was firmly in his corner from the jump, and once that BFT landed, it was all over. Waller and Theory licking their wounds, and Knight soaking in the spotlight. And just one spot now remains for that Intercontinental Championship Tournament, and that brings us to tonight's match happening right now. Listen to that ovation. Johnny Wrestling is back where he belongs, center stage, high stakes, and on the edge of a potential dream scenario. Johnny Gargano walks into this final qualifier for the Intercontinental Championship Tournament, and he's got backup tonight in the form of his old friend, his sometimes rival, his current tag team partner, Tommaso Ciampa. What a story that has been. Ciampa, of course, punched his own ticket to the quarterfinals earlier tonight with a statement win over Angel of Legado del Fantasma. And now he's joining Gargano ringside, watching to see if his partner can join him in the bracket. Can you imagine what would happen if these two collided down the line? Ciampa versus Gargano in a WWE tournament under main roster lights for a chance at championship gold. It writes itself. But first, Johnny's got to get through an absolute wrecking ball. And here comes the man many are calling WWE's most dangerous prospect, Bron Breakker. Fast, ruthless, built like a tank and programmed like a predator. The most shocking part of this whole equation, he's not walking alone anymore. He's flanked by Seth Rollins, former world champion, self-proclaimed visionary, and Paul Heyman, arguably the greatest strategist in professional wrestling history. It's no secret this alliance has left people backstage stunned, and what it means for the future of Raw, we still don't fully know. Of course, Bron Breakker competed at WrestleMania. He was in that 8-man battle royal for the United States Championship that was won by Karrion Kross. And another man who competed at WrestleMania, Bronson Reed, who defeated Solo Sikoa to qualify for the World's Championship Tournament this month to see who will take on the WWE World Champion, who is now Randy Orton, at next month's Premium Live event, or I should say at the end of this month's Premium Live event. Bronson Reed is the man who's been causing all sorts of speculation backstage. The rumor mill hasn't stopped spinning since. The whispers are getting louder that Reed has joined Bron Breakker, Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman. A new faction, a new hierarchy, a new threat to everyone in WWE. Of course, there's nothing been confirmed yet, but that is all the talk backstage. It seems all but solidified. We just haven't seen them together just yet. Of course, right now, Bron Breakker isn't trying to just make a statement. He's trying to collect gold. The Intercontinental Championship has long been a proving ground. And tonight, if Breakker punches his ticket to the quarterfinals, he's one step closer to steamrolling through the entire division. Make no mistake, Heyman wouldn't attach himself to someone unless he smelled inevitable domination. And Seth Rollins wouldn't be standing out here unless he saw the future. And that future is Bron Breakker. But standing in his way tonight, one of the most resilient men in WWE history, Johnny Gargano. This one's going to be an absolute war, folks. We are, of course, underway. The final tournament spot up for grabs. It's all coming down to heart versus horsepower. Johnny Gargano, he's been the underdog of a generation. He was an NXT icon, technical savant, fan favorite. He's been in every type of match against every kind of opponent. And somehow, every time, he finds a way to adapt, to survive. And you know, Tommaso Ciampa, standing at ringside, has to be thinking about what happens if Johnny wins this tonight. Of course, that's a big if, facing off with Braun Breaker, but that would mean a potential face-off at some point in this tournament. DIY going against each other in a match to see who would advance. That match would absolutely tear hearts in half. But for now, Ciampa's doing exactly what he needs to do, staying composed, staying supportive on the outside of the ring. But across the ring, very different energy. Paul Heyman hasn't taken his eyes off Gargano. Seth Rollins is pacing like a lion. And Braun Breaker, he's moving like a man who wants to end this quickly. This whole new alliance has been completely unexpected and an absolute danger to the rest of the WWE. You get talents like Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and now potentially Bronson Reed all together. The rest of the WWE may very well be in significant trouble. Rollins and Heyman, two men who couldn't be more opposite, but somehow they've come together around a single project, Braun Breaker. They see what we all see, raw talent, unstoppable power, the next guy. And I mentioned it earlier, but it's worth repeating. We're hearing those serious whispers backstage that Bronson Reed, who took out Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania, has joined this group as well. Look at this, both men struggling to get to their feet. Braun Breaker gets up first, but then Gargano gets up with a kip. The Breaker tries to get in control, but Gargano fights right back. You can see the resilience from Gargano, but just so much power from Braun Breaker. If that is true, that Bronson Reed has joined this group with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, that could make this unit absolutely lethal. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins, all being managed by Paul Heyman. This is beyond stable. This is hostile takeover energy. But Johnny, he's not the kind of guy to get overwhelmed by lights and names. He's been counted out too many times. Well, look at this, a pin attempt by Braun Breaker. This could be it. There's one, there's two. But no, Johnny Gargano showing that resiliency, kicking out again. Gargano's been counted out too many times. As I mentioned, he's fought giants, monsters, submission specialists, ladder matches, war games. He knows how to survive. And let's not forget, oh, there's a huge spear from Braun Breaker. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, another pin attempt. There is one, there is two, and no, Gargano kicks out again, and Braun Breaker cannot believe it. You can absolutely tell that Braun Breaker is trying to end this early, but Gargano will not stop fighting. Not surprising to anyone who knows Johnny Gargano. Let's not forget, Johnny Gargano has been NXT champion, North American champion, tag team champion, all while being one of the most consistent performers in the game. And right now, he's holding his own against a man who's built like a demolition crew. Rollins, of course, at ringside, as well as Heyman, both doing their thing, watching intently and not overwhelmingly interfering, but doing their best to distract Johnny Gargano. And look at this, Gargano trying to set up Breaker for a finishing move. But Breaker is having none of it. He just tosses Gargano aside. Sheer power from Braun Breaker. Oh, and another incredible move there by Braun Breaker. We might be getting close to the end, but Gargano gets right back up and then is put right back down by a huge clothesline from Braun Breaker. It's almost as though Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins are shaping a killer in the ring here tonight. Here's another pin attempt by Gargano. Breaker is able to kick out. Almost a shocking conclusion there. And he goes right back to the pin attempt, now using the ropes as leverage, but no, only a 1 count. Gargano trying to do anything he possibly can to win this match. And now with a submission move right in front of Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, can Gargano shock the world and get the victory? No. Breaker Well, I think Gargano might have just let him out of it. But at any rate, this match continues. As far as Paul Heyman goes, who is now distracting Johnny Gargano, you can bet every word he whispers to Braun Breaker gets burned into the man's brain. Of course, meanwhile, Ciampa's trying to stay focused, but it's tough with Paul Heyman at ringside. If Johnny gets in trouble, you know he's not just going to watch his partner fall for Tommaso Ciampa. Oh, and there's a huge move by Braun Breaker. Braun now taking off the top part of the tights. That's when he's trying to finalize the match. But now he's getting into a war of words with Tommaso Ciampa. Breaker needs to stay on top of Gargano and not get distracted. Now Gargano trying to take advantage. Huge move there from Gargano. Can he do it? A big knee. Gargano trying to establish control in this match against the much larger Braun Breaker. We're talking about two different philosophies of wrestling here. Gargano's the soul, Braun Breaker the storm. And speaking of storm, the buzz around Kat Najuli's massive free agent signing continues to swirl. We've heard cryptic comments all night backstage saying the paperwork's done, and we're going to see that free agent very soon. But who is this free agent? Is it from someone from another company? Is it a shocking NXT call-up? A returning legend? Nobody knows. But if this mystery person's being saved for the night's final moments, you know it's big, if they even show up tonight. But back to the matter at hand. This match has become a war of attrition. Breaker's trying to grind Gargano down. Johnny's using his stamina, his speed, and his heart to keep clawing his way back in. Look at this, Ciampa in the ring. I believe Breaker got him in there. But Ciampa does not want to cost his tag team partner the match, so he gets right out. And Gargano going for a pin attempt. There's one, there's two, and no. Braun Breaker able to kick out, ending the upset attempt. Gargano flipping him right back over, trying to go right back to work on him. Not wasting any momentum at all. Referee reattaching a turnbuckle pad, you can see. Both men look like they've been through a battle now. You get the feeling someone is about to break. You can see how exhausted Johnny Gargano is. He goes to the ropes, and he misses. That could be costly. Braun Breaker now with a big kick. And Braun Breaker getting distracted once more by Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa trying to get his tag team partner some time to get back in this match. Gargano approaching him, moving him towards the ropes, but no. Braun Breaker is able to break free. Breaker sending Gargano to the ropes, and a huge spear. I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Braun Breaker going for the pin. There's one, there's two, and there's three. Braun Breaker gets it done. Johnny Gargano got absolutely cut in half by that spear. Just like that, Braun Breaker is headed to the quarterfinals of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. One move, that's all it took at the end there. Johnny Gargano fought with everything he had, but Braun Breaker just ends matches. And with that, the bracket is now complete. The quarterfinalists, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Jimmy Uso, Tommaso Ciampa, Montez Ford, Xavier Woods, Aleister Black, LA Knight, and now Braun Breaker. That is a tournament lineup worthy of main events. For Gargano, this is heartbreak. No clash with Ciampa, no title shot, just a long walk back up the ramp. But for Breaker, this may be just the beginning. He's got Seth Rollins mentoring him, Paul Heyman managing him, potentially Bronson Reed possibly joining them. And if he's in this to win the Intercontinental title and the World title, WWE better be ready for a very different era. And we're not done yet, folks, because up next is our main event. WWE World Champion Randy Orton taking on Ludwig Kaiser in a non-title match. And I've got a feeling that this show is far from over. We will be right back after this huge win from Braun Breaker. Now it's time for our main event coming up next. All right, we are now ready for our main event. But first, The Intercontinental Championship Tournament bracket is now complete. Braun Breaker with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman in his corner just ran through Johnny Gargano like a freight train. One devastating spear ended what had been a gritty, emotionally charged match, and now Breaker joins 7 other men in a very impressive tournament bracket, just like these other championship brackets that will shape up later. So many incredible superstars in each, but that's all coming in the weeks ahead. Now it's time for the main event, and there he is, the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer, and now the reigning WWE World Champion, Randy Orton. Of course, at WrestleMania, Orton did what few thought was possible. He outlasted 5 other incredibly elite superstars in a brutal match, and when the smoke cleared, it was John Cena he pinned to seal it. That moment, that was about legacy. That was about finality. And tonight, just hours removed, Orton is walking into Raw not just as champion, but as the standard. This match is non-title. It's about testing himself, staying sharp, sending a message to every man on the roster who might be eyeing that championship. Orton doesn't do cool-down matches. He doesn't take weeks off. When you're the top of the food chain, you hunt every single night. And now here comes the technician, the purist, the mouthpiece and executioner of Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser. He's without Gunther tonight, who we're told had prior international media commitments. But let's be clear, Kaiser doesn't need a safety net. Since day one, Ludwig has operated with ruthless precision. He doesn't just wrestle, he dissects. Every movement deliberate, every strike calculated. And tonight, he gets an opportunity that could change the trajectory of his entire WWE career. A win over the world champion, even in a non-title bout, is a one-way ticket to relevance. And make no mistake, Ludwig Kaiser knows exactly what's on the line. He steps into that ring with one of the most dangerous, decorated men in the history of WWE. He does so willingly, and that tells you everything you need to know about Ludwig Kaiser's mindset. He's not the underdog in his eyes. He's the one hunted. We'll see how that works out for him tonight. And here we go. Randy Orton, the world champion, in one corner. Ludwig Kaiser in the other. A non-title match. Let's see what happens in our main event, folks. A huge running clothesline from Ludwig Kaiser, trying to get off to a fast start here. The bell has rung. And just like that, we are underway. This isn't about gold tonight. This is about pride, precision, and position. Let's talk about Randy Orton for a second. 20 plus years in the business, and somehow he's better now than he's ever been. That's not an exaggeration. That's not nostalgia. That's just fact. At WrestleMania, he didn't just win. He outlasted Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, John Cena, CM Punk, the top names in this business. That's not just a title win. That's a coronation. And it wasn't about flashy moments or catchphrases. It was about patience, strategy, cold-blooded brutality. And that's what makes Orton different. When the lights are brightest, when careers hang in the balance, he becomes something else. And now look across the ring. Ludwig Kaiser is one of the most overlooked talents on the WWE roster. While Gunther has become synonymous with dominance, Kaiser has quietly carved out a lane of his own. His timing, his footwork, his ring psychology. You can tell he was born for this. What makes Kaiser dangerous is that he listens to Gunther, listens to the rhythm of the match, listens to the silence of opportunity. He's not emotional, he's efficient. And he's fought his way through brutal tag matches, sacrificed himself for the greater Imperium cause. But tonight, it's not about Gunther, it's not about Imperium, it's about him. Can he shock the world and defeat Randy Orton, the world champion? Maybe. Can he impress? Absolutely. And you get the feeling that tonight is his chance to show not just fans, but management and any future managers out there that he's not just a second or third in line, he's a name to watch. Now, we'd be crazy not to mention what's still lingering in the air tonight, a massive backstage reveal from Kat Majuli. All night long, we've heard the same phrase, that she signed someone big, a big name in wrestling. We've seen teases, we've heard rumors, but no confirmation, not yet. Some say it's a former world champion. Some say it's someone from Japan. Others whisper it's a returning monster from the past. But whatever it is, Julie has promised chaos. So here's a pin attempt from Ludwig Kaiser, but no, a quick kick out from the champion. Randy Orton not going to let Kaiser shock the world just yet. Kaiser in control of the match right now. Oh, he just got a piece of him there, but Randy Orton right back in control. Kaiser only got a piece of Orton there, not the full effect of that's the move he intended there. So now Orton back in control. And you know one thing, Kat Majuli has promised chaos. And it could change the complexion of the main roster going forward. Right now, the champion is fighting a war of wits with the technician. And while Ludwig might be used to calling matches at his own pace, Orton just absolutely won't allow that. He dictates. You can see it in the pacing, the posture, the body language. These two men are telling a story of what it means to carry yourself like a general. And right now, Ludwig Kaiser impressing the WWE Universe in control of the match. But Randy Orton, just like that, the champion reverses things and gets it right back in control. This match isn't about flashy counters, even though we just saw one from Ludwig Kaiser, and a huge DDT there from Kaiser, but it looks like Kaiser hurt his back. Orton popped right back up. Kaiser's the one still down. Awkward getting up there as he kind of got up through Randy Orton. Now Randy Orton just tossing Kaiser around, and we're beginning to see the champion separate himself a little bit from Kaiser, I think. This match clearly about waiting and striking right when the moment's opportune. But look at this, Ludwig Kaiser with another reversal back in control, but Orton once again reverses right back. For every move that Kaiser makes, the world champion has an answer for it. Orton looks like he's slowly wearing down Kaiser. Oh, a great move there from Orton. Kaiser has held his own tonight, but for every move he tries to make, the Viper is just too quick. A nice neck breaker there from the world champ. Of course, just going toe-to-toe and standing in there with the world champion is impressive in its own right. But Ludwig Kaiser wants more than that. He wants to shock the world and get the win. Oh, huge move there from Orton, going for the pin. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. There's one, there's two. But no, Kaiser is able to kick out Orton in disbelief. He thought he'd wrapped it up there, but he's going to have to put in a little more work before this one's over. Orton just slamming Kaiser down into the mat. Oh, looks like Orton is ready to end this. We have seen that before, and yes, there it is, an RKO out of nowhere, and I think that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Orton with the pin, there's 2, and there's 3. Orton gets the win, but wait a minute, from out of nowhere, what is going on here? That is Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, is back. Lesnar stormed into the ring like a madman. Orton barely had time to stand up. Orton just wrecking everything in sight. He's back. And by the look on his face, by the look in his eyes, he wants one thing, the WWE World title. This has to be it. This has to be the free agent Kat Majuli was talking about. And if it is, she didn't just sign a superstar. She signed a force of nature. Ladies and gentlemen, Brock Lesnar is back, and business has just been obliterated. Orton is down, Kaiser is down, and Brock Lesnar is standing tall as Raw goes off the air. That is all the time we have, ladies and gentlemen. The Beast is back, and the world champion just became prey. We'll see you next time. Good night, folks.